All right, so what brings you here today? I can't stop thinking about it. The shot, that sound, that flow. And how does that make you feel? Complete. You're not alone. All right, welcome in. As you can see, I don't have the second half of myself here with us today. Couldn't do it in the budget, but here's Gary.
I'm the substitute doctor for the day, so yeah, but welcome to the video.
Yeah, welcome to the 10 great and satisfying shots in pinball. If you like this content, like and subscribe, obviously. Better yet, if you have a shot that lives rent-free in your head, drop it in the comments.
So we've selected 10 games. These are by no means an all-inclusive best of the best of the best. These are 10 games that we find that we like the shots on. Some of them are not difficult games, but we really are satisfied with those shots.
Yeah, so this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to checking out what we got in store for us today. All right, should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're going to dive right in. Here we go. All right, number 10.
Twilight Zone. So Twilight Zone is a great classic that, you know, everybody loves. It's got some difficult shots in it. There are a couple of really satisfying shots in this game.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about one of those. It's a combo shot in this game.
Yeah, the game itself, Twilight Zone, is kind of amazing thing that came out back in '93 through Bally. Pat Lawler. Pat Lawler was the one responsible for designing this pin, and then there's a lot of tricky shots in here. You got the piano shot rather. You got the camera shot right there. You got to fight the power, and everyone can relate to wonderful shots and satisfaction. We're going to talk about the dead-end town square shot first.
Yes. So the dead-end town square shot is actually a difficult shot. You go through a very tight shot between the pops. So as many of you probably done, you've shot that and it's rattled off the pops. If you make that shot clean, it ejects it right out to you. On your right flipper, and then you hit the ramp with that, and that gives you the town square combo.
Yeah, you get the town square combo by having that ball come right back out at you onto the right flipper, and then if you time it just right, and the timing is really difficult. I remember trying to do this on camera, and I was only able to get that shot off once after many tries.
Yeah, so it's good. It's satisfying to hit the town square clean because it's got pops and it's tight through there, and then it spits the ball out from the launch, right at your right flipper, and then if you time it, you can hit that nice right ramp.
That's right. I mean, Twilight Zone isn't supposed to flow, and when it does flow, it feels like it's discovering a cheat code almost, you know. And then all that Lawler layouts emphasize surprise over repeatability, so being able to do the repeatability in this shot is not an easy task. But yeah, once you realize that you're lining up that shot, you understand the machine. You're not just surviving the machine. And that's one of the tough things about Twilight Zone in general. Why a lot of players, I think, are continuing to have fun with it because of its challenge factor. And with this shot, you can also end up having the ball land onto the flipper, whether it's the right or a left, kind of depending on the modes and so forth. But even with that bearing in mind, it's still really tough and really satisfying to get that combo down. On to our next one, number 9, Jurassic Park, the Data East version, the left orbit to the dino shot.
Yeah, so as you know, the dino in the Data East one is very important to that. So if you can get the timing right, and off the upper right flipper, you hit the short orbit, which feeds it right back down to the upper right flipper, and then you hit the dino shot. I mean, this is a great classic game, kind of really cool looking. The T-Rex mech is nice where it comes down and he eats the ball. Rule set's not that deep in this game, but there are definitely some fun aspects to this game. And as we were pointing out, the orbit shot to feeding the dino or feeding the T-Rex.
Yeah, I mean, it is a great one. You know, usually when it comes to a game like, you know, Jurassic Park, you're going to hope that the main feature in this is going to be the dinosaur. And in this case, it most certainly is.
Yeah, and there you go. There's a nice illustration of the orbit shot. Basically, it feeds it right back down to the right flipper. So This one is akin to a lot of other games from that, and then you hit the dino shot when it comes back around, and then he'll eat the ball or pick it back out. So depending on what mode you're in. That's satisfying when you can make that connection.
Yeah, that silky flow, it's rare and special for a game, especially a Data East machine. A lot of folks out there know that there's a lot of games by this company that wasn't really, they at times would fall flat, but in this case, they definitely hit that combo, that classic combo design out of the park. I mean, the orbit to scoop combos are an everyday thing now in Stern games, but here this is something that was fairly new at the time. This game came out in '93, as mentioned. John Borg designed this game also, so you get your classic Borg design on display for this.
Yeah. Basically, it's really cool when you get the T-Rex to actually eat the ball during some of the modes. So
yeah, and it's a little fun too when you have some mishaps and things happen, which can happen in pinball quite a bit. And in a little bit here you go. Yeah, you got the two balls.
Two balls stuck in the dino.
Yeah, I think I've only been able to do that once on stream, and it was kind of amazing to do it when we did. Of course, the dino now is confused, so we had to stop and shake the machine a little bit. But that's a fun thing about this game.
But yeah, this is a really just satisfying shot when you make this.
Absolutely. Silky smooth.
All right, moving on.
We are moving on to Attack from Mars.
All right, so the shot that we're liking here is not necessarily a difficult thing to do in this game. It's one of the key features on it, but it creates one of those pinball moments in the game because the sound design, the lighting, when you manage to do that. So basically, we're talking about the big drops in front of the saucer. You have to hit the drops a few times to get the drop to go away, and then you got to hit the saucer several times to unlock it so you can do the destroy shot. And when you do that, you get a really nice moment in pinball.
Yeah, absolutely. And going up straight to the middle is usually safe, but here in this case, it's actually pretty dangerous because if you don't hit the angle quite right, it's going to shoot right back down the middle.
Yep.
The other thing I'll mention too is it's also like you mentioned earlier, it's definitely one of those amazing pinball moments that even though it's simple and straightforward, you have that big celebration, and it's one of the greatest call your shot moments in pinball. If you can do that.
Yeah, it's great. It's not a difficult thing to do. You just basically can hit the middle over and over again to get to that point. But it's when you get it, you get that immersion.
Right.
Fascinating strobe multiball. It's Attack from Mars.
It's easier to learn. It's magical. It's amazing. All right, moving on. Number 7, Star Trek Warp Ramp.
Yeah, this is the Stern Star Trek.
Yes.
So designed by Steve Ritchie.
Yes.
Came out in 2012.
It came out in 2013. Yes.
But this is a great game. We actually own this game. We owned it previously, and we decided to bring it back in.
Yeah.
So it's a very classic Steve Ritchie design. You've got an upper flipper, and he's got you basically doing some orbits. In this case, it's a warp ramp. You hit this ramp, it feeds it right back down to the same flipper, and it's really satisfying when you can connect them and just get warp ramp,
over and over and over again. Talking about a rush, hitting it 4 to 5 times in a row.
Yeah,
that is one of the best, most satisfying things you can ever have in pinball, and this definitely fills the order on this case. I mean, every hit feels bigger than the last, especially if you get into that rhythm. And best yet, you get rewarded by an extra ball, usually after the third warp, depending on where you're at.
Depending on the settings of the game. Too. So that it is it's a fairly tight shot, ramp shot. So when you get it and hit it clean, it comes all the way around, and you can just hopefully keep repeating that. It's really satisfying to keep doing that.
Yeah, and here, as seen in the Kobayashi Maru, it's one of the shots you have to make sure you take because everything is lit on the machine. So what I usually try to do is get that shot out of the way right out of the gate if I can handle that, since it is such a difficult, challenging shot. Even as an expert player speaking here, it's still a challenging shot. But yeah, I mean, the shot improves precision on every game you play. That's the other nice thing to keep in mind as a player.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah.
Next up is
Deadpool. Deadpool, number 6 on our list today.
Yes.
So the katana ramp is what we're talking about.
Yeah, this one it's actually a really cool shot because it goes through a kind of a tortured path to get to lock the balls in the katana.
Yeah, yeah. when you look at it too, it looks a little deceiving. Like you're like, wait, what?
Where does it go?
Yeah, like I have to hit this and then it does that.
Yeah, so basically it's a nice corkscrew. You go through one, then it feeds it to another upper ramp at a weird angle and comes out. When you hit this clean, and that is the key, is you got to hit it clean so it goes all the way up and all the way down to the locks. So, so when you get that, because if you don't hit it clean, it'll rattle and it won't make that upper left ramp.
Yeah, you definitely have to make sure. And you don't necessarily have to hit it on the run. But a lot of times if the machine's a little bit older, you might have to. But if you were patient enough, you cradle the ball, you wait, you hit, you make a shot. Some machines have a sole shot, and this is Deadpool's.
It's a really satisfying one when you get that. So
yeah. I mean, here we're noticing these near misses and so forth. But when you make those clean ones, that's when it's really satisfying, and that's why it's on the list. Whether you're starting the multi-ball or not, whether you're in the mode,
whether you're a huge Deadpool fan or not, this is just a really satisfying shot when you connect it. All right, moving on.
Moving on to Rush. Oh yeah.
So this is a combo that you can do. It is basically you hit to the left of the time machine, and so if it's a pro, it's a dead end shot. If it's on a premium or LE, it actually upkicks it and feeds it to the right flipper. Either way, it kind of feeds it to the right flipper. So if you hit that dead end shot and then hit the time machine afterward, it's really satisfying. Because, especially if it's coming down on a premium, it comes down to the flipper moving.
Yes.
It's not as easy to hit it from the right flipper in. So sometimes you can roll past it to the left and then hit the time machine. So So that's one way to do it, depending on how fast the ball is moving. It's a pretty satisfying shot on this game.
Exactly. I mean, the combo feels like a drum fill into a chorus. It's the rhythmic section of it all. It's got rhythm. It's got soul. It's a nice, fun transition.
Yeah. So there you hit left of the time machine, and then on an LE or premium, it will kick it up, feed it down the wire form. Pros will just dead end reflect it back to your right flipper. So fast. Keep that in mind.
Right.
Yeah. You got to be ready for it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more challenging machines that the Sterns put out. But as we played it more and more, we've got more and more into getting better at the shots. They're a bit tighter than each iteration, each version of a Stern machine that comes out. They're obviously going to try to do more and more challenging things. And in this case, as I've been able to do here, be able to move from that dead end shot, the vertical up kick happening, and then feeding it back down to the
right into the time machine.
Right into the time machine, exactly.
So, all right. Dum dum dum, King Kong.
King Kong.
So this is a obviously a pretty new game. Code's been coming along really nicely, but I personally find when you hit the cross the chasm mode, the shot combos that you need to make on that just are really satisfying when you can connect them.
Yeah.
So cross the chasm is a particular mode. You basically need to shoot across the playfield from the upper right flipper through. It'll be this little corkscrew, and it'll feed it to the upper right flipper.
Yeah.
And then you hit the cliffs ramp, brings it back down to the upper right flipper, and it's sort of like tennis at that point.
Yeah.
If you can connect it, you can keep putting it back and forth between the upper one. That makes for a really satisfying shot.
Yeah,
when
definitely.
you connect a series of them, you're like, yeah, I'm on fire.
Yeah, and the other tricky part about this shot too is it goes relatively fast. Like you really got to be on the ball with your timing.
Yeah, especially when it's coming, feeding it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, that's a tough shot, so it's a tough one to kind of go through that. It feeds it to the upper left flipper, the mini flipper, and then you're going to want to hit the cliffs ramp, which then feeds it to the upper right.
Yeah.
So, but it's really satisfying if you can connect this back and forth, back and forth.
Like we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's a little bit of trickery here and there in some of these things, but hey, we're trying to see the examples. When it comes to King Kong, I think in terms of if it will punish you if you're sloppy on these transitions too.
Yeah, if you miss your shots, be wary.
Yeah.
Gonna bounce funny.
That's the other thing too. There's a lot of speed, a lot of backspin that can be unpredictable in this game. We're going on to a second example here.
Yeah, this is one where I strung together a good chunk of cross the chasm shots. So cross, up the cliffs, back to the right, across the chasm.
Yep. These inner loops are becoming signatures, aren't they, Gary?
Yeah.
They're signatures in the new releases, comparing it to all the other games we've talked about so far.
All right. Alien, another one of our favorite games. This game plays to my strengths as a player. I'm kind of a stop it, plan it, and do a type of type of shots, but this game has the hypersleep ramp, and
Yep.
it is a tight ramp, and
Yep.
you have to get the timing right off the upper right flipper.
Yeah.
It's very, very tight. It's
It
hard to
is.
get the
It's
ball
very-
fed to the upper right flipper.
Right.
Also, so
That's another thing.
yeah, once you get it in there and it comes down and hitting this hypersleep ramp, it's satisfying when you do it because it is so tight on this game
Oh,
and
yeah.
steep.
Yeah.
It's short, tight, and steep. So
Yes, some of those things are nightmares for a lot of players of those words that you just said. Well, overall, I think with the design, it's a fun design, very thematic.
yes,
And also, I mean, everything goes quiet and tense right before a lot of these modes, especially the sentry guns. It gets quiet, and then the tense starts building, and the tension is building and building, and then you have the perfect climactic finish with
yeah,
that.
that's a great example of what happens a lot on that ramp. It's tight. If you don't hit it clean, it doesn't go all the way up like it did just there.
Yeah, we just saw that. I was trying my darndest to do it on camera where it was a closer view, but sometimes you just got to play in front of your friends, and then it all comes together. But yeah, and it really ties in all the different modes. You got your extra ball here.
Yeah, it's key. The key. He's got an extra ball. Plus, he had the hypersleep multi-ball. So when you hit a series of those shots and capture it, you basically use the APC drop targets to. Once you hit them all, it qualifies the hypersleep locks, and then it grabs the ball and holds them. And then you hit it again. The first game, it's 2 balls. Then later on, it'll be 3.
Yeah.
So it's really satisfying. This is one of the key modes that you've got to have played in order to progress the game to the final whizzing.
Yes, don't avoid that shot. If you're playing this game and you're just not getting it, it will help unlock so much more in that game if you can get that timing down.
Yeah.
So when you hit it, it feels that much more triumphant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and especially it doesn't happen that often in the game. This is it's a critical shot in this game, but it's hard to get the ball to the upper right flipper, consistently. So when you do that, then make sure you hit it.
yeah, exactly. Moving on to our second to last selection. Number 2 on our list is
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
So Ghostbusters is a game we like. It's only a 2 flipper game, so it's a fan layout shot, but there are tight shots and stuff in this game. And in particular, one of the key ones to get one of the multi-balls is the left ramp. It is, again, way back in the machine. It is tight, and you have to hit it clean to get it in there. It's satisfying when you do that, because I don't know how many times I've gone partially up the ramp, and then it comes right back down, sometimes right down the middle. So,
yeah, I think when this game came out back in, 2016 rather, that was the biggest thing that I drew the most attention to was that ramp is so difficult. I want to keep trying to get better at it. And in this case, it gives you that big dramatic moment every time when you hit it. It feels like that roller coaster,
Yeah, and because there's a slight difference between a pro and a premium game. The pro you hit the left ramp, it'll feed it back to the right flipper. On the premiums, the fire station actually locks the ball in there. It goes in, it goes down through a subway, and then it can actually lock the ball.
Yeah, lock it and so forth. I mean, it is one of the most unusual ramps. That's probably why they decided to run with it. And, this ball has this huge journey, and you get to watch it in full view here. Sometimes that can be a little rare. A lot of designs can hide the ball and things like that, but, you get to see it at home.
Yeah, and again, it's a tight, steep ramp at the back of the table. So.
Yeah, and once you get the hang of it, that chaotic geometry, that flow comes in, and it just, the satisfaction is marvelous in this game. Especially when you get a super jackpot, huh?
Yes, yeah. You get the great light show in this game.
Yeah.
So this game's great with the theming. We do really like the theming, and we love the Ghostbusters universe. So
there you go, and our last one on the list.
Godzilla. This is obviously one of the modern favorites by a lot of people.
Yes.
It's become like the #1 selling pinball machine ever. So
yes. So we're talking about, in particular, the Kaiju Battle Gigan shot, the right ramp to left ramp shots.
So if you're familiar with this game at all, when you go to battle the Kaiju and you select Gigan, this is a pretty classic. Basically, it wants you to feed the thing. So you hit the right ramp, then it'll feed it down to the right flipper, and then you hit the left ramp, which then feeds it back to the left flipper. So you can get that if you get those combos, it basically, you can get this figure 8 thing going, and it's like really satisfying when you connect a bunch of these things.
Yeah, we were big fans of the flow in this game, and after playing both the premium and the pro versions of this machine, you know, we felt that we didn't need that bridge. We really enjoyed the flow the way it was. You know, it's a standout because it feels that loop is much more clean, and you're moving and transitioning from one shot to the next at a much higher, you know, pace of speed. Yeah. So I've always enjoyed this whole thing here.
So there's a left ramp, feeds it down to the left flipper.
Yep.
And then of course that one is hitting the combo shot. There we go. Here we go. Here we're gonna have some of these. So right ramp, left ramp.
Yep.
Comes down, and missed it there.
But we get the replay.
Yep. Yeah. So you can actually get that in sequence to where you're literally hitting the left ramp, left ramp, right ramp. And if you can get the timing down, you can actually, you know, kick Geigen's butt pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If you've got the timing. And in his key, you've got to be really consistent over and over to do this. And it's really satisfying.
Oh, yeah. It becomes a meditative sort of a situation. And then you have achieved what a lot of players will say: you have reached the zone. You are in the zone. And just having that ability to go from left to right, you know, watching it go through those loops and go down the ramps. Keith Elwin, love this design.
Yeah, fantastic game.
Yeah, so. It always has been, and will continue, I think, to stay in our collection for some
time.
Yeah.
All right, that's this list of games that we really like some of the shots on. If you've got a favorite shot in a different game, please let us know in the comments. And also, while you're here watching this video, please like it, and then also subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it.
That's right. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
I thought this was a safe space.